Terra's Story, Chapter 1. Terra threw her badge onto the dresser and stared at the tear-streaked face of the stranger in the mirror. Her eyeballs were red and the surrounding tissues puffy with dark hollows beneath. The grayish tinge of the skin spoke to exhaustion. Her mouth was a thin, bitter line. But even worse was the image Terra couldn't scrub from her mind, the sight that obscured the one in the mirror, that of the battered, defiled body of a young girl who would never see her teens. Another dead angel, the serial killer still unidentified, still loose to strike again. The hollow in the pit of her stomach had expanded to envelop her heart. Dead. She felt so dead inside. How could she feel dead and still be suffocating with pain at the same time? Grief, rage, and confusion draped around her like a shroud, heavy and hopeless. This is not what I thought police work would be like. I thought I would be protecting girls like this, preventing their deaths, not cleaning up crime scenes after it's too late to help them. She snorted at who she'd been 20 years ago. How stupidly naive. The thought slipped into a sob that threatened to undo her tenuous grip on control. Terra wobbled over to the desk, sliding into the chair just before her knees gave way. She stared as images of Molokai scrolled across the screen of her computer. Dad? Sanctuary? She paused a moment to let her head stop spinning, then touched the keyboard to wake the system. Terra blinked to focus so she could see the Skype icon, then concentrated on steadying her shaking hand to load it. She inhaled, still shaking as she scrolled through the contacts. Call Kano. Yes. She had no idea what time it was here in Arlington, West Virginia, much less in Hawaii, except that it was dark and she was so tired she couldn't feel her hunger. The familiar tones of voice-over internet chimed once, then twice, then just as she was about to give up hope, he answered. Terra, what is it, love? Cale's voice was alert and concerned. He always knows, she thought, relieved that the psychic bond between them was as strong as ever. Dad, she whispered, then coughed to clear her throat. Dad, I need help. Her voice was still little more than a whisper, punctuated with barely repressed sobs. Sweetheart, her father replied, the love and the endearment causing the tears brimming in her eyes to spill down her cheeks. I know. Terra knew Cale did know. He understood, and he would know how to help her. Dad, Dad, I'm so broken. She pushed the words out between the sobs that would not leave her alone. Can you come home for a while, sweetheart? His voice was gentle, and his calm pulled her back from the looming edge of hysteria. Yes, Dad, I need to come home. I've lost myself, Dad, and Terra dissolved into the wave of fresh grief that swept over her, tears streaming, gulping air between convulsions. Captain Gallagher said I should take some time off. I've got months of vacation time accumulated, and I'll meet you at the airport, sweetheart. Just let me know when. We'll rest here overnight, then we'll go see Simeona. At the beloved name, Terra felt something inside release. A peace she hadn't felt in far too long tiptoed around her heart. Hope lightening the pain and anger. Now she could focus on her father's face in front of her. She saw the calm understanding and gentle strength in her father's eyes. He smiled. You're going to be all right, sweetheart, he whispered. His certainty was a promise. Finally, Terra allowed herself a ray of hope.